Later, she would tell me that in residential school, kids were forced to go to confession. If they had nothing to confess, the nuns made up a sin for them. That school really set the tone for my home environment.
The age-old tradition of storytelling continues to thrive in the Aboriginal community, often through filmmaking.
It's a medium where not only you get to see the visual images of what the director has in mind, but you also get to hear the people's stories, and it being viewed in a place like this, it's also a shared experience.
All we know, that's all we've been taught.
Today, Dwayne Gaston Aucoin's documentary, My Own Private Lower Post, touched audiences with its powerful story.
They talk about healing. It's hard to heal when you did not make it to your baby sister's funeral. Your grandparents were buried. And you're never allowed to leave that school. And for me, I can heal.
It's okay to feel anger. And I think we need to understand that. It's a healthy emotion, it's a healthy reaction to what was done to us.
But this is the first time I've heard this from Atli, which is Tlingit for mum.
The film follows Dwayne and his mother sitting down for the first time to discuss her experiences in residential school, and then how her suffering is inevitably passed on to her son.
There's also a lot of shame and guilt because they know that they brought that home with them from the residential schools into their homes, into their families. And she raised me the only way she knew how, the way the nuns and everybody raised her in residential school. She didn't know how to parent. To be able to give my generation, the second generation, an opportunity to share our story. Because I think a lot of times our story can be forgotten. But in a lot of ways our pain runs deeper than the first generation, because it's the first generation, they were hurt by workers in a residential school, but these workers were strangers. These workers weren't part of their community. Us, my generation, we were hurt by family members. We were hurt by community members living in our own community. And so I think that's why in a lot of ways our pain runs deeper. And there's a lot of anger that goes along with my generation, anger towards family members, anger towards community members. And I think the more we can sit down and be honest with each other and talk about what we need to talk about in a good and a healthy way, the more we can put that anger behind us and move on.